Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about speed skating, the fastest human-powered sport on ice. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. In the early days of the sport, before high-tech steel blades were invented, skaters didn't use metal at all. It's said that the original skaters in Scandinavia and the Netherlands actually strapped polished animal bones, usually elk or cows, to the bottom of their boots to glide across frozen canals. What do you think? Did early skaters really use bones as blades? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is clapskate. That's C-L-A-P-S-K-A-T-E. A clapskate is a special type of ice skate used in long track speed skating where the blade is only attached to the boot by a hinge at the front. This design allows the heel of the boot to lift off the blade during the stride, while the blade itself stays flat and in contact with the ice for a longer period of time. The name comes from the distinct clap sound the skate makes when the heel of the boot snaps back down against the blade at the end of every stroke. Although the idea was patented as far back as 1894, it wasn't perfected and used in professional competition until the late 1990s. When Dutch skaters first introduced them at the 1998 Winter Olympics, they were so effective that almost every world record in the sport was broken within a single season. Today, you won't find a single Olympic long track skater who doesn't use these clapping wonders to gain that extra bit of speed. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about speed skating. Number 1. Speed skating is one of the original sports from the very first Winter Olympics. When the first ever Winter Games were held in Chamonix, France in 1924, speed skating was right there at the center of the action. In fact, it's one of only 6 sports to have appeared in every single Winter Olympic Games since the beginning. While the events and the technology have changed significantly over the last century, the core challenge remains the same: skaters, an oval rink, and a race against the clock. For the first few decades, only men were allowed to compete in the Olympic events. Women's speed skating didn't make its official debut as a medal sport until the 1960 Squaw Valley Games, although it had been a demonstration event as far back as the 1932 Lake Placid Games. Today, it's a global powerhouse sport with athletes from the United States, the Netherlands, Norway, and South Korea typically leading the medal counts. Number 2. Eric Heiden achieved the impossible 5 in a single Olympic Games. In 1980, American speed skater Eric Heiden did something many experts thought was physically impossible for a human being. He entered all 5 individual long track events: the 500 meter, 1,000 meter, 1,500 meter, 5,000 meter, and 10,000 meter. And he won the gold medal in every single one of them. This feat is legendary because it required him to have the explosive power of a sprinter for the short races and the incredible lung capacity of a marathon runner for the long ones. No other athlete in any Winter Olympic sport has ever won 5 individual gold medals in one game. Heiden even set an Olympic record in every race and a world record in the grueling 10,000 meter finale. He became such a sensation, it seemed like he was on a glide path to massive fame and fortune, but he famously chose to retire shortly after that Olympic Games to pursue a career as an orthopedic surgeon, showing that he was just as sharp off the ice as he was on it. Number 3. Skaters use a deep crouch position to fight an invisible wall of air. If you've ever watched a speed skater, you'll notice they spend almost the entire race bent over with their backs nearly parallel to the ice. This isn't just a style choice, it's a necessity to overcome aerodynamic drag, which is the air pushing against them as they move forward. At the high speeds these athletes reach, air resistance becomes a massive, invisible wall that can slow them down by several seconds if they stand up even a little bit. By staying in this deep crouch, skaters reduce their frontal area, making them more like a sleek sports car and less like a flat-nosed truck. The position is incredibly difficult to maintain, though, because it puts an enormous amount of strain on the quadriceps and glute muscles, which start to burn with lactic acid within just a few seconds. Skaters often train for hours in a low walk position just to build the endurance needed to stay tucked in for the duration of a race. And when just a second or two can be the difference between Olympic gold and no medal at all, any aerodynamic advantage is critical. That's why today's speed skaters wear specially crafted suits engineered with dimples and ceramic dots that help them slice through the air. While the suits look like simple spandex, they're actually masterpieces of aerodynamic engineering, and they can cost over $1,200 each. Designers use wind tunnels to test different fabrics, often adding specialized textures like tiny ceramic dots or honeycomb patterns to the arms and legs. It works similar to the dimples on a golf ball, helping it to fly further by reducing air drag. These textures disrupt the air just enough to let the skater move through it with less resistance. Number 4. The ice is actually kept at different temperatures depending on the length of the race. You might think ice is just ice, but for Olympic speed skating, the surface is a finely tuned piece of technology managed by expert ice technicians. For short, explosive sprints like the 500 meter, the ice is actually kept a bit warmer, around 23 degrees Fahrenheit or -5 degrees Celsius. This creates a slightly softer surface, which is vital because it allows the skater's blades to bite or grip the ice during high-speed turns, preventing them from sliding out at about 35 miles an hour. But for grueling long-distance races like the 10,000 meter, the technicians freeze the rink much harder, down to around 16 degrees Fahrenheit or -9 degrees Celsius. This colder, harder ice reduces friction to the absolute minimum, giving the skaters maximum glide so they can maintain their momentum over several miles without wasting energy. Even the air temperature in the building is monitored. If the air is too cold, it makes the ice too hard. If it's too warm, the ice gets slushy. So technicians aim for a perfect sweet spot of about 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius for the air to keep the ice surface stable. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, in long track speed skating, athletes have to switch lanes every single lap or face instant disqualification. In most racing sports, you pick the shortest path and stick to it, but speed skating has a unique rule to ensure fairness. Because the inner lane of the 400-meter oval is shorter than the outer lane, skaters are required to swap lanes on the back straightaway of every lap. This is so that by the end of the race, every competitor has skated the exact same distance. To manage this at around 35 miles an hour, the skaters have a crossover zone where they move past each other. If they fail to switch, their entire race is voided. The rule creates a sort of high-stakes right-of-way situation that requires split-second decision-making. If two skaters arrive at the crossover point at the exact same time, the rules state that the skater moving from the outside lane to the inside lane has the right-of-way. The skater moving outward has to stay out of the way to avoid a collision. It's a delicate dance of physics and sportsmanship. Now for some news you can use. If you want to skate more like an Olympian, try to master the crossover turn. When you're going around a curve on ice, your body naturally wants to fly outward because of the inertia. To fight this and keep your speed up, skaters use a crossover where they literally step their outside foot over the inside foot. This works because of centripetal force. By crossing your legs, you're constantly pushing your body towards the center of the circle. The trick to a powerful crossover is to stay low and lean into the circle. It's sort of like how a motorcycle might lean into a turn. The more you lean, the more gravity helps you stay on your path. Just remember to keep your blades sharp because the edge of that blade is the only thing keeping you from sliding across the rink like a hockey puck. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, do you think it's true that the first skaters used animal bones instead of metal blades? Well, that's a fact. Archaeologists have found bone skates made from rib and leg bones of large animals dating back over 3,000 years. These early skaters didn't edge into the ice like we do today. Instead, they stayed flat on the bone and used a long wooden pole to push themselves along. It wasn't until the 13th or 14th century in the Netherlands that people started using iron blades, which allowed them to finally push off with their feet and truly skate the way we see in the Olympics today. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about speed skating with me today. Be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.